From small oversights that can cost you time to big ones that could cost you money, we break down the 20 most common cruise cabin mistakes we see and what you should do instead. That way, you're one step ahead of everyone else on board. Up next. Welcome aboard, cruisers. I'm Don B from Eat Sleep Cruise, and a special welcome back to our Eat Sleep Cruise subscribers. One of the more fun aspects of cruising is getting to personalize your cruise cabin and cruise cabin door by hanging decorations or organizers. But when decorating, it's very important to avoid using adhesive tape or hooks on the walls, doors, or ceilings. These can actually damage surfaces, which may result in unwanted surcharges. Instead, opt for magnetic hooks if you want to maximize storage space, as most cruise cabin walls are metal. This is one of our cabin hacks that we use on every single cruise, regardless of the cruise line. Magnetic hooks are easy, damage-free solution for hanging light items. You can also use magnets to secure items to your cabin door, such as decorations, signs, or whiteboards. But of course, just be careful where you put the hooks and never hang any items from the sprinklers in the ceiling of your stateroom. Now, there was a time when individuals would go on a cruise to unwind and they wouldn't bring any electronic devices with them. Well, those days are long gone, and it seems like everyone nowadays is traveling with multiple devices, whether it's smartphones, tablets, action cameras, video cameras, laptops, you name it. More and more cruisers are bringing more and more electrical devices. However, cruise cabins have limited outlets. And if you ignore your room's electrical limits, well, that can lead to electrical issues or even fires. And there have even been issues on some cruise ships where there have been blackouts due to overloading of electrical circuits in many staterooms. Most cruise lines prohibit certain types of extension cords and power strips with surge protectors for safety reasons. So it's very important to review your cruise line's policies before you set sail, and whether they're in your checked luggage or your carry-on, shoreside security at the embarkation point will find these accessories and they will confiscate them, and you'll have to wait until the end of the cruise to reclaim them at disembarkation. If you need extra outlets to charge all your electronic devices, be sure they're cruise approved, and double check your cruise line's policies. Some cruise lines have changed their policies on what electrical devices are allowed on cruise ships. For instance, Royal Caribbean no longer allows multi-plug outlets, but they do allow multi-plug blocks on which all the outputs are for USB cables. So be careful, because many of the cruise-approved devices sold on Amazon will no longer be allowed on Royal Caribbean ships. Also, keep in mind the region you're sailing in, as well as the age of the ship. If you're sailing in Europe, for example, or on an older vessel, your stateroom may have 220 volt Type-C or Type-F outlets, so you also may need a power adapter or a power converter. Just make sure any converter or adapter you do have also is cruise approved. Using the in-room safe is a smart way to keep your valuables secure while enjoying your cruise. However, it's crucial to remember to take everything out when you leave the cabin. Passports, jewelry, AirPods, and other electronic devices are commonly forgotten items. To avoid leaving behind essentials, create a checklist of items you've stored in the safe and double check it before you disembark. As a best practice, we always do a final sweep of our cabin, including the safe, to ensure we have all our belongings. While not impossible, it can be difficult to get these items back once you leave the cruise ship. Your stateroom attendant on a cruise is there to make your stay as comfortable and hassle-free as possible. We're still surprised when some cruisers say they never met their stateroom attendant during a voyage. We make it a point on day one to introduce ourselves before setting sail. Along with making up your room each day, your stateroom attendant can customize your experience in several ways. They can deliver extra pillows, blankets, or towels upon request. They can provide toiletries like shampoo, conditioner, or soap if you run out. They can bring you ice for your ice bucket and other small items you need. Like if you need more hangers or other amenities or have special requests, make sure to ask your stateroom attendant, and it's best if you do that on day one of your cruise. Traveling with your family, your stateroom attendant can set up a sofa bed, bunk beds, or even a crib if you're cruising with little ones. And the best part? They'll tuck it away all during the day so you have more space. They can help rearrange the furniture in your room or remove unwanted glassware or other accessories in your stateroom to provide more room for all your gear. While it might be tempting to bring home a memento from your cruise cabin, like towels, bathrobes, decorative items, or heck, even the hairdryer, don't make that cruise mistake. These items are property of the cruise line and are meant for guests to use during their voyage. Taking them could lead to unexpected charges on your final bill. This also applies to other items in the cabin, such as binoculars, bottle openers, or umbrellas. Likewise, you should avoid drinking items from the minibar unless you're okay with paying for them. Even if you have a drink package, these items are usually excluded, including soda or bottled water. Some luxury cruise lines or suites on contemporary cruise lines do include minibar items, so just ask your stateroom attendant before popping open that bottle. Life jackets are provided in most cruise cabins for safety reasons. Removing them from your room could cause confusion during emergencies, so always leave your jacket where you find it in your stateroom. Often it's in a closet or in a cabinet near the door so it's easily accessible. If there are no life jackets in your cabin, they might be stored at your actual muster station, but it doesn't hurt to ask your stateroom attendant just in case, because if you're supposed to have a life jacket and it's not there, you definitely should get one. When you attend the mandatory safety drill held at the beginning of the cruise, or watch it on your stateroom television, or on your cruise line's app on your smartphone, there will be instructions on how to put on your life jacket in the event of an emergency. During the muster drill, you'll also receive other important safety instructions, so make sure to attend. When you are cruising, it's easy to forget the little things that can make a big difference in your experience, like forgetting to use the Do Not Disturb sign on your cabin door. It may seem like a small detail, but it can save you from unnecessary interruptions and ensure you have the peaceful retreat you're looking for. Think about it, you've just returned to your cabin after a long day of sightseeing or an excursion. You're finally ready to relax, put up your feet, and enjoy a moment of tranquility. But then, a knock at the door. It's housekeeping offering turn-down service. Or maybe it's a delivery you didn't expect, like a flyer for the upcoming art auction that you were not going to go to anyway. Suddenly, your peaceful moment is interrupted, and that much-needed rest slips away. Not using the Do Not Disturb sign might seem harmless, but these interruptions can quickly add up. Whether you're taking a nap, recovering from seasickness, or simply enjoying some downtime, those knocks and visits can become frustrating. Depending on your cruise line, the Do Not Disturb might be a magnet you place on your door, or a switch you flip in your stateroom, indicating that you're there and want some peace and quiet. Further, some cruise lines still use the old-fashioned door hangers. Regardless, before you leave your cabin, or even settle in for the evening, take a second to indicate you want some privacy. If you are new to cruising or haven't cruised in a while, you may not know that there are several items not allowed on cruise ships. Bringing items like hot plates or coffee makers is strictly prohibited. These appliances pose a fire risk and are therefore not allowed. While these items might seem obvious to some, guests do bring other items such as irons or steamers on board cruise ships, which also pose a similar fire risk and are therefore prohibited by most cruise lines. If you need wrinkle-free clothes, look to onboard laundry and pressing services, or one of our insider tips is to pack wrinkle release spray. While not perfect, it does help for a quick fix. Some ships offer communal ironing stations and laundry rooms as well. But of course, check your cruise line's website or the deck plans to find out if the ship you're sailing on offers these type of services. Space is limited in cruise cabins, and overpacking can make your room feel cramped and cluttered. Believe us, we've been there. Stick to essentials and clothing items that you can easily repurpose. If you're taking a longer cruise, or maybe back-to-back cruises, remember that there are those laundry services available if you need them. Luckily, we have some tried and true cruise cabin hacks to help you make the most of the space. For instance, you can utilize under-bed storage for suitcases, which we didn't figure out until like the second or third cruise. So we literally were living out of our suitcase which was sitting on the sofa for several of our first cruises. While it took a couple dozen cruises, we also now swear by packing cubes. That way you can take the packing cubes out of your suitcase and put that suitcase under the bed. But regardless of what you do, you want to make sure your luggage never blocks any of the exits in your cabin. Also, we always use a hanging organizer to store toiletries, charging cords, sunglasses, and various other small items. This helps to free up counter space in the cabinet. And as we mentioned earlier, we use magnetic hooks, which are also valuable for hanging items like coats, hats, and bags. It might seem harmless to leave items like towels, shoes, or even a drink on your balcony, but these objects can easily get swept away by the wind. Not only can this litter the ocean, but falling objects can also land on lower decks, posing a danger to other passengers. In some instances, cruise lines may even fine passengers for causing accidents related to falling objects. Yes, it's also tempting to hang wet clothes or a bathing suit over your balcony rail or the chairs to dry. Hey, we get it. You think, well, we're docked at a port of call. What can go wrong? But a gust of wind could easily come by and blow those clothes overboard as well. So you should avoid doing this as well. Instead, use other drying methods, like the provided clothesline in your cabin's bathroom. Another common cruise cabin mistake you might make if you have a balcony is leaving the balcony door open. Leaving your balcony door open for fresh air might sound appealing, but doing so will often disrupt the air conditioning unit inside your cabin. Open balcony doors can cause humidity levels to rise, making your room uncomfortable. And that air conditioner will not turn back on until the door is fully shut. Or even worse, strong winds can slam the door shut, causing potential damage or injury. This is especially true with the crosswind if someone tries to enter your cabin from the hallway door. So just remember to shut the balcony door when not actively using it. While the idea of bringing your favorite bottle of liquor with you on vacation might sound appealing, most cruise lines have a strict policy about alcohol brought from outside. If you get caught sneaking alcohol into your cabin, it could be confiscated, and you may face penalties. Instead, consider buying a drink package, or checking the cruise line's policy on bringing limited quantities of alcohol. Most cruise lines do allow guests to bring 2 bottles of wine on board at embarkation day in carry-on luggage, but not beer or spirits. Also check your cruise line's policy about bringing certain non-alcoholic beverages on board. Some cruise lines don't allow you to bring any non-alcoholic beverages on board, while some cruise lines do allow you to bring a limited number of cans of non-alcoholic beverages on board. Cruise ship plumbing systems are different from those on land, and flushing inappropriate items can lead to clogs and serious problems. If you've ever cruised before, you've probably seen the signage indicating what not to flush with some pretty strange items like banana peels. While you've probably never thought of that, it's important not to flush feminine products, diapers, or other hygiene products in the toilet in your cruise ship cabin. You should only flush toilet paper and dispose of other waste in the trash bin. A clogged toilet can quickly ruin your vacation, and the cleanup may not be quick or pleasant. Cruise cabins share walls, floors, and ceilings with other guests, so sound carries easily. Playing loud music, watching TV at a high volume, or yelling, especially late at night or early in the morning, can disturb neighboring cabins. To ensure a restful environment for everyone, be mindful of your noise level. The same rules apply to your cabin balcony. If you're celebrating, consider moving to a public area on the ship where noise won't be an issue. You don't want to be the noisy neighbor that people complain about at guest services. Think about how you would feel if the situation were reversed. Smoking is strictly prohibited in most cruise ship cabins, including cigarettes, cigars, and even vaping. Cruise lines enforce this rule to prevent fire hazards and maintain the comfort of all passengers. The one exception is Costa Cruises, where guests can smoke on their private outdoor balconies. In all other cases, if you are caught smoking in your cabin or on your balcony, you could face hefty fines, and in some cases, be asked to disembark at the next port of call. Always use designated smoking areas on the ship to avoid issues. The smoking areas are usually on the outdoor decks, in the casino, and some cruise lines, like Princess Cruises and Norwegian Cruise Line, do offer cigar lounges on some of their ships. Likewise, open flames, including candles and incense, are strictly prohibited in cruise ship cabins due to the serious fire hazard they present. While it might be tempting to light a scented candle for ambiance, it's against safety regulations. If you want to set the mood, consider bringing battery-operated tea lights. You could also bring air freshener or other sprays to reduce odors. If you're looking for a small light, consider bringing a night light. There are some great rechargeable and even magnetic ones available on Amazon. And you can check in the description below where we have a link to our Amazon store where you can buy all these cruise cabin essentials like magnetic hooks, air fresheners, night lights, and more. Your room attendant is there to keep your cabin clean and comfortable, but leaving an excessive mess can make their job challenging. Simple steps like placing trash in the bins, organizing your personal items, and keeping dirty dishes in one spot, or if the cruise line allows it, putting them in the hallway, all these small things can go a long way. A tidy cabin isn't just courteous, it also helps ensure faster service and a consistently fresh space for you to enjoy throughout your cruise. A little effort goes a long way to showing appreciation for your attendants' hard work. Cruise ships offer plenty of kid-friendly activities, but cabins are not the place to leave children unsupervised. Small spaces, balconies, and unfamiliar surroundings pose risks to children, and leaving them alone can lead to accidents. If you want some alone time or time to enjoy all the adult activities on board, consider using the ship's Kids Club services, where trained staff can watch over your children. Even if they're not old enough for the free Kids Club, most cruise lines also offer 4-fee babysitting services. This way, you can enjoy a quiet specialty dinner, give the casino some action, or laugh it up at the comedy club without worrying about your little ones. Tossing anything overboard is not only disrespectful to the environment, but also against cruise line policies. Throwing objects into the sea can harm wildlife and cause pollution, and offenders may face fines or even be disembarked from the cruise ship if caught. Be mindful of your actions and keep the ocean clean for everyone to enjoy. This includes being mindful of lightweight objects that might unintentionally blow away if left on your balcony, like napkins, straws, and empty water bottles. Although gratuities are usually automatically added to your onboard account, tipping your cabin attendant is still a nice gesture, especially if they provided excellent service. They work hard to keep your cabin clean, restocked, and comfortable throughout your vacation. A small tip at the end of the cruise can go a long way in showing appreciation for their efforts. Even if you choose not to tip extra, a simple thank you or friendly conversation in the hallway can help to make their day more enjoyable. Even if things aren't going your way, you should never be rude to the hard-working staff. In fact, being rude to the staff is one of the most annoying cruise behaviors you can do on any ship. And we know you do not want to be that passenger. So, we put together a video of the 15 most annoying cruise behaviors that you should avoid on your next trip. That way, you can be one step ahead of everyone else on board. Heck, you might become the most liked passenger on board, and your next cruise will be smooth sailing.